everybody, CW here. I got some 1022s here. Figure we'd talk a little about those. Stay tuned. All right, cleared the bench off a little. We'll start talking about them one at a time. I have three. You saw them in the front clip there. Three different purposes, three different uses. First of all, pretty much an iconic firearm for just shooters and fun stuff. You can compete with these. You can plink with these. You can buy them from pretty much anywhere that sells a firearm. They're just they've been around for quite a while. They're pretty iconic in what they are. These, along with the Marlin Model 60, pretty much are what everybody watching this probably grew up with. Maybe the Model 39 Marlin lever action, throw it in there too. And there's a myriad of other rimfires that we grew up with that are older and maybe a little less known, but just as popular in their day. This came to be in the early 60s, mid 60s. So it's not that old in the grand scheme of things. The Model 60 Marlin, I think, is a little bit older. And of course the Model 39 Marlin is quite a bit older. It dates back even farther than that to its roots with the 1897. But let's talk about the 1022. It's pretty much the tinker toy of firearms, 22s, meaning that there's a whole pile of manufacturers out there offering parts that the home hobbyist can easily affix, change out, swap over on their existing base, their existing receiver, barrel action, stock, scopes, barrel weights, lengths, diameters, triggers, magazines, the way magazines work, bolts, not even talking about the regular stuff like just the scopes and the rings and bases and things along those lines. This particular one you've seen a few times. I've used it in a number of videos. This one had some issues with elevation in one old scope that it had, and it turns out that I was getting some barrel droop because of the big heavy barrel in the aluminum receiver because of the way it's attached. It just doesn't lend itself to a lot of really good support. So it's it's prone to that. So in the videos we swapped out to a 20 MOA base to try and pick us up some elevation, and that certainly helped. And then we found a block under the barrel to attach the barrel to the receiver that was also built for the same thing, to counteract the effects of droop. Droop is basically the barrel dropping out of the center line of the receiver because of its weight and mass. Now, that a lot of people have had different theories on how to use these heavy barreled Rugers, and one of them I tried myself and it worked out really good. And the theory is that the barrel, when you get a heavy 920 heavy barrel like this one, especially long like this one is, this is all your mass. The receiver is an alloy aluminum. The bolt is steel, but it's small, it's light. Most of the other parts, although there's steel pins and things and springs and such, most of the parts are small and light, or they're an alloy. So they're light in weight. So the theory is that you take the barrel and you affix and glass bed the barrel into the stock, and you attach them together permanently, and you hang the receiver. You attach your barrel, your scope rather, on your barrel with a cantilever mount so that the mass is over the barrel. The mass is still over the receiver. The weight is attached to the barrel, which is affixed to your stock. And then the receiver basically just hangs in free floats inside the stock. And I did it. I had an extra bedding screw up in the front and glass bed everything and hung it, and it worked. It shot really, really well. And along the lines, I sold it. This is probably at least the fourth or fifth heavy barrel 1022 that I've owned. I've bought them up, built them, sold them off, picked them up, traded them. They were cheap and they were fun to build. So that's what I did. And in recent years, maybe the past 10, I've hung on to them, really enjoyed them, build them up and keeping them and using them, enjoying them. And I discovered that I really, really liked these Magpul stocks. So all three of the ones that we're going to talk about here in the video have Magpul stocks on them because I just love them. The price, the fit, the offerings, how they work and what they do and what they bring to the table for these great guns. I just really, really like the Magpul stocks. Now this one has quite a few changes. It's got a factory bolt. I'm trying to think of factory parts. It's got a factory bolt, factory receiver, probably some pins and springs, factory magazine. That's probably about it. Trigger, drop, levers and springs, and some of the things inside are aftermarket. The bolt assembly, although most of it is, the base of it is factory. The extractor isn't, the springs in there isn't, the bolt handle is not. The mainspring is not. The bolt that attaches the barrel to the receiver is not. The barrel is not. The stock is not. The rail is not. And this is, this isn't an overboard, over the top, the best of the best by any means. It's just a group of parts that I've bought over the years, and it shoots really well together. This is a Green Mountain barrel, 20-inch 920 heavy barrel. It's really, really long. I can't even get the whole thing in the shot here. This is a Discovery Opt 6-24 by 44 SPIR. It's an HT line. And this one has been really good. I like the reticle. I like the scope. It works really well. It gives you a really good sight picture, and it's worked really well. Not overly expensive, and it fits this really well. Something I've always really liked to do ever since the first 1022 is to over scope them, meaning much more power, variable or fixed, than you would normally think you'd need on a rimfire 22. One thing I really like about this Discovery Opt is putting the illumination here. I'm not a huge fan of illumination per se. I'm growing to see the uses of it, but it's not something I really look for or have to have in an optic. And I really dislike it when they stick it up here like a big pimple on the side of your face or something. I just hate it. They stick them off here. I really don't like those. And although I've got a new scope headed in that you'll see shortly that has that, there was no other option. They're just for the price point, for what I had, what it offered, I got to look the other way and take it because it's got that. But this over here is kind of nice. Usually they stick it out here, but this one here has got this adjustment for focus, and because of my level that I have on here, I have to position this in a certain way, and it gives me almost all the adjustment that I need. It doesn't go down quite as close as I'd like, but I can get inside 20 yards, which is plenty for this particular gun. And then it lets me get all the way out to infinity. So it does 99% of everything that I'm going to need for focus. And the big wheel just makes it easy to grab and to do that with. I wouldn't have it on anything but a target gun because it's kind of obnoxious and big. But so is the scope, so is the rifle. So there we go. Just a quick one on this one because we got two other ones to talk about. And we're already almost 10 minutes in. So let's bring this one here is my lightweight. This thing is a feather. It weighs next to nothing. I've got all kinds of really lightweight parts in here, and I built this as a speed plate gun. It's got a 16-inch lightweight Kidd barrel. This is a linear compensator from Kaw Valley. It's got some fancy trigger parts in here from Kidd. Lightweight bolt handle. It's got a Vortex Venom red dot on here in a ADE mount that is proprietary for the 1022, so it's really slick. I like this lever a lot. It works really well. I don't remember who makes it, but it really works really well for me. Many other parts in here. It shoots. This is a match chamber just like the last one, and you got to keep it clean. It likes to be clean. You got to clean it regularly, but it obviously cycles perfectly. But it points so well. I wish you could feel just how light and handy this is. It's fast. It's just a beautiful, fun shooting gun. And again, you're seeing, another Hunter Magpul stock on here. And you'll see a theme with these dark colored risers, because finding them in the proper color is tough. But black ones seem to be everywhere. So that's just the way it is. I keep them short. I'm a bigger guy. I'm 6 feet tall. But I like them to be a little bit shorter. It's a little bit faster on and off your shoulder. And I prefer it. So there you go. There's my Kidd lightweight 1022 for speed stuff. And here's the last one. Nope, it's not broken. It's a takedown. This is the 1022. This is the anniversary edition, 64 to 2014. And this is also in a Magpul stock. This is their backpacker version, and it works by allowing it to fit in a backpack just like that, which is pretty slick. This has got a whole bunch of aftermarket parts on it as well. This is a factory barrel, but I believe it's a Magpul mount. But if you look, it's severely free-floated. It actually attaches to the lug on the bottom, and it gives you a pick rail on your barrel. It's really pretty awesome. The only thing it takes away is your rear sight, and it actually probably doesn't have to, but I don't know if you could see it. Yeah, I guess you could. So theoretically, I could put the rear sight back on and put the front sight back on, and I would also have sights. This is an old TRS-25 Bushnell. It's been around forever. I really like this particular one. It's the bronzy cold color, and it fits well with this flat dark earth color on the stocks. So factory barrel, not much changed here. The lug is changed in the back. This is an extended pin. I'm trying to think of what else I've done in here. The mount, the pin, the base. There's a couple of things done in here with the barrel. And in here, over here on the stock, these stocks have storage in here, which is really nice. They fit 3 magazines. Always have them with your gun. Really nice. Single point sling mount positions all over the place. There's another storage in here. I don't know if I have anything in here or what could be in here. Or is this hinges? I don't remember how it comes out. Right now it doesn't want to come out. Oh, it's got an O-ring on it. That's right. It's O-ring sealed. And I've got nothing in there. But it's a cavity that's sealed. There's an O-ring on your stock. So it would stay dry and airtight if you had use for that. Another single point sling up here, which is switchable to either side. The same with the back one, either side. This has another rail on it. I forget who makes this one, but it has a peep sight built in, which I just have off because I think I broke it. But I need to get it fixed and get it back on, because it's a really nice addition to have a peep sight on such a short barrel. Not huge changes inside here. This is, I think this is a TX-25 trigger. Ruger's target trigger. I do have the slingshot mod done. I do that on all my 1022s. This is a release lever it's a little better than the factory one, but I don't like it as much as that one I have on the Kid. A couple modifications inside, springs and pins. I always like the Wolf springs. I've got all of those in here. This one is a good shooter. It's not nearly as good as the other two, but it's plenty good. And it's really handy. I've got the case that they come with, and it allows you to store with some additions that you might have. Maybe you want to put a scope with it. And the nice thing about this one here is that you can put this on. I'll do it off screen here so that we keep YouTube happy, because good Lord, we don't want anybody to get hurt. But it goes together clickly click, really easy. And you could run a optic on here. This keeps your sight in from changing, so it stays sighted in, because your barrel is obviously where your bullet is going, and your scope, your dot, is staying on the barrel, so it's a little bit more accurate. It's adjustable for tension on the hook up here. Just really nice. It's also really light. It's, believe it or not, it might be a little bit heavier than that Kid, but it's handy. It shoots well, and these are cut for the bull barrels. If you want to have a bull barrel, there's plenty of room there. So if you happen to have a heavier barrel, one addition that I'd love to have on here, and maybe one day I'll do it, is the silenced barrel, the NFA barrel. It's an integral silencer built into the barrel, so nothing screw on, screw off. It is the barrel. The barrel is the silencer, and it would work with this setup. So that's something I'd really like to look at. And there we go. There's my 1022s. What do you got? How have you had them? How have you built them? What have you done with them? Love to hear about it, and I'd love to see the videos. So I don't know how this would be a challenge, but if I could do a challenge like let's see your 1022s, that would be pretty cool. See what everybody's got for 1022s. See how you've built them up, what you've done with them. If you want to take them out on the range, that'd be great too. This is just a bench top, but we'll see how this goes. And maybe we'll take them out on the range and see. So there we go. Let's see your 1022. CW's issued a challenge. There's a whole bunch of guys that watch. Love to see what you got to offer. God bless everybody. CW out.